And here we go. It's Wednesday, and that means, well, means some Warhammer. Move this a little bit here. Good morning, hello, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are, and welcome to Warhammer Wednesday. What are we looking at today? Well, I'm very excited to build my first, what is, I'm sure, morning-ish, yeah. I'm sure what is going to be the first of many for me, because I do like this vehicle. A Warhammer 40k Space Marines Primaris Invader ATV. And as Rabid Wombat pointed out, remembered from back in the day, watch from bed? Oh, is that a good hangout from bed, or like I'm sick, watch from bed? Welcome everyone who's coming in. So as Rabid Wombat remembered from the 80s, there was this toy in the Starcom line, which again I have a couple of Starcom toys left, but that vehicle you see right there is the Invader, an Invader ATV from Starcom, and this is the Invader ATV in Warhammer. Kinda interesting. Same basic style vehicle with the same name, the Invader. Coincidence? Ancient aliens? I don't know. Oh, Rabid Wombat, I'm sorry to hear you're not feeling well. Hopefully this stream gives you energy and life. I don't think I had that toy. I didn't have a lot of the bad guys except for the two main shadow spaceships. Like I had, obviously I have the little triangular one, and then I think I had the bigger one that was like a big triangle with a little piece in the back, and you can actually fit something onto it. Yeah, I suppose. Hey, maybe they were, maybe somebody on the staff who came up with this, or was coming up with the name, had some vague memory of the old Starcom toy. Not even necessarily conscious, just was lurking in the back there somewhere. Okay, so what is this thing? Well, it's an ATV. It's got 4 wheels. It's got 2 dudes on here. If you look really closely, it's got a couple of bolters in the front. Mainly defensive weapons, essentially. And then it's got this turret-mounted, heavier weapon. Oh, did I? Oh, sorry. My rate dropped down. It should bounce back up. It tends to happen. Actually, it hasn't happened that much lately. Thank you for the follow. Paint more minis, and that is a very, very appropriate screen name, username, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, the rate's already bumping back up generally, so no, it's bouncing all around. Internet connection was good this morning. Sorry if it looks weird. Hopefully at least you can still hear me. I'll keep talking, and hopefully the visual will catch up to the audio. Yeah, right now the rate is not so good. It didn't yeah. Well, this is a controversial model. Not everybody likes the look of this thing. Some people think it's silly. Some people think it's... Okay, good. Yeah, at least, yeah, audio is usually good, even though the rate dropped. Yeah, it's... Alright, well, it's back in the 700s, so that's something. Yeah, mainly some people don't like it because of the looks. And again, when people start arguing about the physics of vehicles in Warhammer, especially Imperium, it's like that is the slipperiest of slopes, because none of the Imperial aircraft looks like it could fly for 2 seconds without falling out of the sky. I mean, there's that to me, that's a silly argument. We're dealing with a fictional universe. As long as things work in universe, who cares? But again, you don't have to like it. You don't have to play it. It's fine. There's certainly people who are getting this kit and customizing the heck out of it. I've seen some really interesting customs already. This came out last week, but of course, hobbyists are already doing amazing, crazy stuff. Yeah, you could totally orc this thing into something crazy. So it comes with... Why isn't the audio on my phone here? Hold on. Corner magazine. Okay. Yeah, so it comes with two. The only options on here are for this cannon emplacement up here. And basically, you can either take this cannon to mow down infantry, or you can take the Melta option to wreck vehicles and armor. Yeah, right. I mean, people have to complain about something, so why not? Why not this? Redo the wheels. Yeah, I've seen the main thing I've seen so far are people who, so instead of the wheels essentially being at a flat angle, they've cut them out and rotated them down a little bit, so it looks like, so it gives the vehicle some lift above the ground. The only thing is when you do that, the guns sort of point down toward the ground in front of it without a major customization to the parts in the middle, which, you know, is fine. And then vehicles of this size and larger generally don't come with bases. You could base it, and that could give you some terrain to play with too, if you wanted to. But I don't know, it's fine. Yeah, the illusion of suspension. Somebody also did one of these as a Mario Kart thing with Mario and Luigi driving it. Very silly, but an incredible job of craftsmanship and painting. Absolutely amazing. So if you go back, we'll go back in time for a second. And I did this a little bit last week talking about the Primaris chaplain on the bike. But if we go back in time, standard Space Marine. Come on, focus. Standard Space Marine on bike. You know him, you love him. And again, even back here, like the bike is pretty straight, flat across. There's a little bit of a suspension bar here, but otherwise it's not moving up and down very much as it drives. So anyway, standard bike. There were various leaders and characters that you could have on bikes, such as the chaplain here. You could also have an apothecary on a bike. You could have a tech marine on a bike. Various things that are not now in the codex. They've been shuffled off to legends. So they have rules. They'll never be updated, but you could still play them. But what was really interesting along with the bikes, there was, again, something that some people liked, some people didn't, the attack bike. So from this side, it looks like a standard bike, but lo and behold, it is a teeny tiny sidecar with another Marine mounted on it and then a heavy weapon. In this case, a multi-melta. Now again, this is going back years and years and years, and it has the same issues that people are complaining about with this new one. There is no ground clearance. This dude over here, there's not even any armor in front of him. He's just riding right into whatever's coming. His little skid plate here is essentially riding right on the ground. What are you going to do? This particular unit was not very good in the last edition. Got a major buff in the new edition with heavy weapons not taking the penalty to firing after movement for anything other than infantry. So these are actually playable again. And they're really cute. They're silly and they're cute. So the ATV then I see is definitely an evolution of this, of the attack bike. So what the Primaris Outrider is to the original bike, so is the Primaris ATV to the attack bike. So I've shown off the box. What do we get in the box? Well, we have instructions complete with this mini data sheet thing, which, I mean, again, I guess it gives you your basic information. It's just interesting to read. Oh, it has a bolt pistol, so that's helpful. And then yes, there are 2 sprues, and I did get a head start cutting some things out this morning, so they just look like sprues now. There's not a lot. There are a couple of really big parts, which is cool. So there's this whole central piece that's just one part. It's got some feet. It's got a whole lower body here in the front, which is always interesting. Hey, Builderess. And then there's like a big rear top thing. Anyway, so we'll go through that. And then, of course, you've got a little transfer sheet. It has this weird component code. I don't know what that's for. And then, of course, Ultramarine garbage. Cut that off. Different ranks, which is kind of cool. But again, they're all Ultramarines coded, so not helpful. And then, of course, you have scripture. So you can, be religious. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to get to building, and I'll continue to talk at you. Yeah, I suppose. I don't remember ever seeing the component code, or at least that prominent on a thing. It's kind of interesting. Or maybe I'm just forgetting. Smurf code is the only code. Look, there are a lot of people out there who really do genuinely love the Ultramarines, and that's fine. They're not terrible. Mostly. So what does this thing do on the battlefield? Well, it's mostly a bike, as the rules have told us. Keywords are very important for the game right now, and they've been for the last edition as well. So this thing has the Imperium keyword, of course, Adeptus Astartes, Space Marines, naturally, and then fill in whatever chapter it is that you're playing. And then it has Biker, Primaris, Invader ATV squad. Now, that's it. So what's important about that? Well, number one, it does not have the core keyword, which is a new thing. So this vehicle will not have access to rerolls from auras from friendly commanders. Now that's a new thing for 9th edition. Well, a new thing now that the codexes are out for 9th edition, that only those aura rerolls for things like Space Marine captains and lieutenants only work on units with the core keyword. A lot of hate for there are certain factions that do get a lot of heat for silly reasons. Dark Angels are definitely among those as well. So no core, no rerolls. All right. Well, that's something that can be overcome. And again, a lot of units don't have core now, so it's not like this is the only one, and you're definitely not going to play it because of that. Now, what's interesting about this vehicle and the bikers in this edition is that while they have the biker keyword, they do not have the vehicle keyword. What does this mean? Well, they also don't have the infantry keyword. Makes sense. They're not on foot. But you get access to certain special rules or special features, you might say, when you don't have the vehicle keyword. The biggest one is that an apothecary can heal this thing, whereas it couldn't heal a vehicle. And apparently, so I've been told by people who are more knowledgeable about things than I am, that's one of the ways in which this is not broken, but kind of overpowered, because it can actually be healed by an apothecary. And again, most vehicles cannot. Now, you would need an apothecary to be able to keep up with this thing. In theory, you're going to have this zooming around the battlefield. Its weapons are not long range. No, so with the heavy, so the restriction on moving and shooting heavy, it just can't be infantry. if we're talking about, again, there are different rules that you could be referencing, but the penalty for moving and shooting heavy only applies to infantry now, and they don't have that, so they can shoot its Gatling cannon or its multi-melta even after moving. Yeah, it's standard 14-inch movement, and it has the same turbo boost movement as bikes. So this thing is going to be jetting across the battlefield. You can play them in squads of 3. So again, why I'll probably end up getting more of them at some point. Because, you know, what would be cooler than having 3 of these things running around the battlefield? Let's see how this goes together. Yeah, you could potentially take 9 of these things in a triple detachment of them. Yeah, I don't know. We know that a Xenos Codex is coming by the end of the year, right? Oh, why is this not sitting right? There we go. Squats. You think squats are coming back? Oh man, that would be so epic. I just don't know if I believe. Oh, January. Okay, yeah. Squats would be amazing. I don't have high hopes for squats actually happening. I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, in the lore, there are a bunch of other species out there. That could be added to the game. I don't know. Ooh, space rats. That would be cool. Some sort of sci-fi Skaven. That'd be rad. I think people would really dig that. Yeah. That's a good guess. I like that. What are the it's one of the species under the Tau. They're like polar bears with mind powers or something. Those always seemed interesting. I don't think that's it, but just to say that, yeah, there are some interesting sci-fi-ish things going on in the universe. All right, so we're building the wheels and these side parts. Before we get to the main body. And very exciting. It looks like the turrets, or at least the weapon housings, are totally different. So you can build both, and then it looks like you can easily magnetize them. Maybe you don't even have to magnetize them. That you can just they're interchangeable on the part. We'll see when we get to that. But that would be cool. I can definitely see running this in the anti-infantry role with the speed and the ability to get around stuff. But I don't know, the multi-melta option it's enticing, again, because you can move up really quickly and try to take out a tank before it gets to you. The only problem is the multi-melta is only a 24-inch range, so if you're in range to shoot that at a tank, it means the tank is going to be able to shoot at you. And these things are not the toughest vehicle out there. So I don't know if I'd want to get that close to something really heavy duty. But then again, if you had 3 of these and ran them up there and unleashed 3 multi-melta blasts against a tank, you'd probably take it out. Okay, cool. Yeah, Nerdy Duck, that's a very good point. We have factions that have been languishing, absolutely languishing, with no significant updates in models for many, many, many years. And it would be nice for them all to get cool new stuff, just like we Space Marines always get. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what it could be. A trick. It could be, you know, like, yeah, they take something that already exists, but they change it a little bit so it's quote unquote new. You know, it's like an evolution of, yeah, like an evolution of the Eldar or something. We'll see. We'll see, and we will talk about it. So I got to tell you, I've been catching up on my Horus Heresy novels. A friend of mine who I generally borrow them from, I think I think we're completely up to date now. And I just finished Saturnine, which is book, I don't know, it's like book 3.5, or book 4 of this final siege section of the Horus Heresy. We're almost done. Holy crap, that was a good book. Dan Abnett, so you know it's gonna be something. I had some issues with the first couple books in the series. Not to get too into the weeds, but it felt like when they had divvied up which book was going to cover which parts of the final action, it seemed kind of uneven, and like what each author could cover, it seemed a little bit limited. But oh boy, it was like when it came time for Abnett's novel, do whatever you want. He had every single character that's involved in the story at that point, every faction. But it was pretty darn cool. All right, so we've got these side parts. So yeah, I mean, it only attaches to the main body here in the middle. So I can see where if you cut off, basically you cut here and you cut here, and then you can reconfigure it to be at a different angle. It would be a lot of work. You would need to add in probably some plastic card to create a new angle here, but you could do it. I'm not going to. I don't have a huge issue with the way it looks. And generally the first time I build a model, I build it stock anyway, and if I get another one, I can mess with it. Yeah, Zardoz, it's true. I mean, we're in sort of a new world with this new edition. They could definitely take things in new directions, but will they, or will it just be more of the same after all? Games Workshop is not necessarily known for taking big chances. But we'll see. Alright, let's make sure this fits together snugly. So there are a bunch of pegs inside, so it's kind of tough to get them all really well lined up. Yeah, I would definitely classify Games Workshop as risk averse. If we're talking business terms, financial terms, they definitely don't like taking huge risks. Not to say that they never do, and of course, every so often they will unveil something that is kind of shocking and different. Eighth edition was pretty. Eighth edition was probably the most out of the box thing they've done in a long time. Really simplifying and streamlining game rules, making it much more accessible to people. I would consider that, an evolution. Ooh, special skills for guard unit. That's cool. I mean, I guess that's sort of the crusade. The new crusade system kind of has that idea baked into it, where you can really customize units, especially over a series of games in a campaign. I just want to make sure this is really tight so everything lines up perfectly. There's a little bit of a gap here, so I just put on a bunch of glue. It's on the bottom, so you're not going to see it anyway. A little bit of unsightly glue business. Yeah, pricing is interesting. Like this week's pre-orders. So, among the things that you can get this coming Saturday, again, it's more Space Marines and Necrons. Sorry, it's just the way it is. But this new Hammerfall bunker for the Space Marines, which I did pre-order one. I am getting one. It's $60. And then you look at the poor Necron players and their new, what is it, the obelisk? It's $170. It's crazy. This is still sealing. I want to make sure that part didn't. You know what? I'm gonna put a little bit more glue on here. Like I said, I want these to be really, really tight. Man, I need some rubber bands. Yeah, the monolith, the new one, is very expensive. I mean, it's cool. And they gave it a lot of like new interior components. I think it's 170. That's too much. I think that when I glue on the other side of this, I'll be a little bit more careful about having glue inside the holes where the posts go, because again, that can create resistance for the pegs to go in the holes. 105 British, yeah. That's like magic currency. I don't know how that works. I can only imagine what it's like for the Aussies. It's probably like $500. Come on. It's still moving a little bit. Okay, this should be good. So next we're going to do the start building up around the turret and then adding the front section with the bolters. Once I'm convinced this isn't going anywhere.
It seems to be plummeting out of rubber bands down here. Just
oh no.
You need long posters.
Yeah. If do we have any more around anywhere?
Yeah, let me go here. Just keep an ear out for mine. Mine is
Rubber bands are definitely your friend when it comes to just having things dry and not pop out. For bigger stuff, you can use vices and things. But all right. Yeah, I saw that Aeronautica plane. I mean, I guess it is a little bit bigger, but $100. Oof. Yeah, but I mean, and that's another thing. The pricing on some of those smaller games, they really go nuts on some of those. On the boxed games, I don't know. I was pretty excited about Titanicus, and the prices for those things was like, nah, I'm there's no way I'm getting into this. Just crazy. For the most part, Aeronautica doesn't seem too terrible with prices, but yeah, that stuff like that is. Oof. All right, cool. Sorry, I'll take you up on that. Again, I own a printer. It's still in the box. So one of these days, I'll be up and running and printing myself. All right, so this is the housing for the bolters in the front. Let's make sure I have these on the right side. How does this work? Oh, good thing I looked. I had this upside down. Okay, cool. I figured it out. Yeah, so this is the housing, and there are these little tiny, so there's a hole, obviously, in a little tiny peg, or a divot, where the peg on the weapon gently rests, essentially. All right, cool. Post office. Poor post office. Why do they look uneven, though? It's weird. I think they'd be straight on in relation to each other. Oh, thank you so much. Rubber bands. Alright, so we've got the front. This is going to go down here in front of the Space Marine's legs. Obviously, there'll be a cover plate over it in a little bit. And then we can start on the dude. The driver, I should say. He's got one of these. He's got a head with one of these on it. So you build it into the torso itself. He doesn't get to look around. He has to look straight. He is driving, after all. Eyes on the road, Buster. Good. Oh no, Rabbit Wombat. It's so crazy that you have such issues with packages. Because of business stuff and lots of deliveries and things. We have a it's like a post office box, but it's at a private company. But you know it's another expense. But yeah, rather than have every package come to our house, although we're doing that more now in pandemic times anyway, just because we don't want to go there. Nope. Speaking of, there goes the soap link. All right, so it looks like these arms are generally posed, but I don't want to glue them because basically you put on both arms, and then both arms have to fit into the handlebars that then need to attach to the front. So I'm going to wait on that. This should be good now to glue the other side. Then I can keep adding parts to this. Yes. Good. Okay. Other side. Yeah, overall so far I like the way this model is built. Oh, and that side actually went together like perfectly. Yeah, I think it's because I was much more cognizant of glue not getting into the holes where the pegs were going to go. I think it was the resistance that made that side a little bit tougher. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. And again, that's that thing. Like, do you want models that are more easily customizable and posable, or do you want something that is easier and quicker to put together? And I don't know. It's a toss up. Sort of depends on how much you like the base version of these things. All right, what do I do first? I think I put this on first. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what the build is going to be like for the bunker. That has weapon options also. All right, that just plugs in down there in the front. So now it is slightly armed. Oh, and the back piece. So this thing has 4 holes. Where does it line up? Nope. There. There. Okay, so where does this line up? Okay, I want to get... You want to get as much glue as you need, but not more that's going to show up anywhere where you don't want it to. So I think that should work. Yeah, this one doesn't fit together super great on the inside. So it's rubber band time again. Come on. Ooh, there we go. Little one. Yeah, no, I was saying that. So the Hammerfall bunker, I do have one pre-ordered. It's not, as I told my local store, not too worried about them running out of stock on that one. Because people are not very excited about it. Its rules came out with the new codex, and its rules are not super great. I mean, it's called a Hammerfall bunker, which implies something to do with crashing down, some sort of dynamic entry, dynamic something. But no, you just set it up in your deployment zone. It doesn't move, and it shoots at anything that comes close. Now, it does have some fun stuff where when you activate it to shoot, it can shoot at anything within range. As many things are within range that it can see. So, potentially a whole bunch of units that are around it. That's cool. Depending on your mission and the scenario, if there's an objective that's within or very close to your deployment zone, you can really cover it with that, and that's great. But yeah, everything seemed to suggest that this would have some sort of deep strike capability, dropping this thing onto the table in a strategic location, and it just has nothing like that, which is a bummer. Definitely a bummer. Yeah, as does again. Like it definitely has its uses, or it seems to. It seems like it could be fun to run, but it just doesn't have what we all thought it was going to have, frankly. And is that on us? Or is that on Games Workshop for implying certain things and then not following through? Or a little bit of both? There's still a little bit of a gap on this side. Who was just saying that this model was going together so well and so easily? Yeah, for a Space Marine thing, it seems like it should be dropping down. Death from above, dropping out of the sky. But who knows? Maybe they'll FAQ it later. They'll add something to it. Wouldn't be the first time. And as a bunker, and as a fortification that you have to pay for, I also wish there was some way to put people in it. I mean, again, it doesn't move, so it wouldn't be super super useful, I guess. Unless it had firing ports and you could fire out of it. Or get in and then upgrade its ballistic skill. That'd be cool. I know Deathwatch still has a lot of fun toys. Yeah, Nerdy Duck. It definitely feels like an Imperial Fist list would be quite fluffy with that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if this will. No, that's still not fully on there. I need something else that can hold this down. all the rubber bands. Come on. There we go. Alright, well if that doesn't hold it, then I give up. Alright, let's cut out the next set of pieces, get ready for the next part. Yeah, though, I mean, special ammo has always been a weird rule. Who gets it? What weapons? How does it work when they add new things? Got a roll bar over here. Or what passes for a roll bar? Ooh, and without getting into spoilers, I will say that that new book I was talking about, that Saturnine book, in addition to filling out what we generally already knew about the Siege of Terra, there's a bombshell in that book, a bit of lore that we 40k people collectively have quote-unquote known since the beginning of Warhammer 40k, and this book is like, nope. What you all thought was the way something happened, that actually didn't happen that way. And it'll be very interesting to see if that has any payoff whatsoever. If it has any payoff within the next couple of books that complete the 30k Horus Heresy series, or if it has a payoff in 40k with Gilliman finding out certain things. Again, I don't want to give spoilers. The book did actually just come out recently, so I don't want to say too much. But yeah, it did have like an actual kind of a major revelation. Which is cool, because again, one of the things that they can get stuck with is the Horus Heresy series is telling what's essentially ancient history to 40k times, but it's not all set in stone. And they definitely have freedom to keep introducing some new elements to the history, which is cool. We have some little bits here. Yeah, the Golden Throne is just a... Hey, Darrow! Yes, we are. We're 2/3 of the way through. We have a cart. It has some gaps, so I'm just waiting for things to glue down as close as I can. It's cute. It works. It's fun. It's low to the ground. I don't care. If I was looking for things that seemed plausible, functional, I don't know, I guess I'd play Tau. I still thought that Aeronautica thing was ridiculous, talking about that was in universe written as though the Imperium was writing propaganda about their forces versus the Tau, and about how those silly Xenos, they have aerodynamics, we just have thrust. It's like, okay, I don't think that's quite how it works, but sure. No, I'm saying Tau stuff looks like with the right technology, it can actually work. That's a good thing. Not necessarily how Imperium technology looks. Ooh, that's interesting. Huh. So the Marine that sits in the front, the actual driver, he doesn't have a backpack, a power plant for his armor. And it just slots in, he slots in right against the wall. So you can't even pretend that he was wearing one. Interesting. Tell Bert, hey, it's fun. It's all good. I'm sure I'm not bad mouthing the Tau. I'm saying that it's just a funny. It was a funny thing because again, Tau stuff looks like yes, it could work in a world with its technology, but Imperium stuff does not look like it should work. Yeah, Aeronautica is definitely another one of those games where I look at it and I think, oh my god, I really want this, but I don't. I need to stop. I can't get into it right now. Although I hear rumors that Chaos is coming to Aeronautica shortly. I don't know how true those rumors are. We don't know what their forces are going to be. It would be really interesting because, I mean, obviously 40k Chaos Space Marines have Helldrakes, and that's about it. Unless you're getting into leftover 30k vehicles, and that would be very interesting if Aeronautica started adding those. Again, potentially models that could be used by both sides. Xiphon fighters and, I mean, geez, Thunderhawks, Stormbirds, you know, you name it. There's a lot there that they could mine. Am I besmirching the gloriously well-designed flying brick aesthetic? It's just fine. Yeah, that article was really funny because it was saying that those Tau and their aerodynamic vehicles that were actually designed. It's like, well, hold on. I mean, to have a vehicle that yes, it looks like a flying brick, but it has enough thrust to make it work. Some amount of design had to go into that too. There's an Aeronautica game on Steam. I did not know that. Oh, but Robin Wombat says it's garbage. Interesting. Well, since I don't really play video games, I'm not too upset about that. Yeah, physics beats physics. Oh, Robin Wombat, I have heard about the scale being pretty close to the Robotech stuff. Has anyone proxied out a whole Robotech fleet, squadron, list, whatever you want to call it? I guess you could do them as some Imperium fighters. Remove the supports. It's time to drive. Man, how did I get this thing around here so tight? There we go. Okay, continuing on. We have our main body. It's good. Saturday Warhammer, it's in the works, I will say. Had a couple of interesting things happen with conversations about scheduling, but we are working on it. Just have to make sure it's the right thing for the family and times, but yes, looking for now. In theory, we're looking at an afternoon time slot, or early afternoon Pacific time, which I know is not going to be the best for everybody, but it is what it is. It will not be this Saturday. But hopefully a Saturday coming very soon. Alright, I'm getting all of this prepped to lock this dude in. But yeah, hopefully I'll have more to announce very soon. Very, very soon. All right, boom. Again, I glued all of the parts at once, pushed them all in, and we have a driver. Put it on the handlebars went in straight. This kind of unsightly business right here with that connection, it's going to be covered up anyway, so I'm not worried about it. And yeah, looks good. Okay, he's in there. Now I got to add some of these little things. An antenna. With a laughably tiny roll bar. Not sure what that's going to do in case of a crash, but sure. Better than nothing, I suppose. I wonder how people are sub-assembly building this thing for painting. Because there are a lot of pieces that have overhangs and nooks and crannies. It would be tough to get in here and get all that painted. Oh well, I don't worry about such things. That front shield should just plug in. Let's see. Yeah, it seems like you would have to do a bunch of sub-assemblies on this thing if you were going to paint. Try to really do a super good paint job on this. Okay, cool. It's coming together. The front cowling on there. Ooh. Now you got me thinking, what if you built this, you cut off the wheels, turned them sideways, mounted them, so essentially cut them here, turned them sideways, rotated and mounted them sideways, so, and then you called them hover jets, mounted it on a little bit of a flying base. Okay, that could be cool. All right, let's get a gunner. I haven't seen that mod yet. Yeah, exactly, like Back to the Future wheels style. That's and it would be intricate, but I think it'd be kind of straightforward. Again, if you cut off that and then attached it from there, huh? Maybe I'll do that with one of my future second or third ATV. Why did that not fit together very well? Oh well. Yeah, Zardoz for sub-assembly. Yeah, that would be really annoying. Haha, good thing I don't paint like that. Oh yeah, so just put grab plates in there across the front. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be cool though. So yeah, so the gunner in the back, he gets a pistol. So if you do get this thing into melee, he can shoot his pistol. With the guns that this thing has, though, if you're in melee, you're probably doing something wrong. Thank you for the follow, Damoon Rules. How you doing? Okay. Oops. I don't think glue was supposed to go there, but that's okay. Alright, gluing the gunner into his feet. Cool. And yes, you do glue him in before you build any arms or the weapon back there. So he's just sort of hanging out armless. That works. Yeah, no, I mean if I was playing against these things, yeah, man, tie him up. Stab the shooty ones, shoot the stabby ones, right? As the cool kids say. Alright, we got some exhaust for the back. Piece 14 and 15. Go. Yeah, and that's something, because this does not have the vehicle rule, right, because you need vehicle to shoot in melee. I think that's the other difference, right? Or monster, which obviously it's not a monster. So yeah, you don't really want this thing to be in melee, if possible. Okay. Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah, with big guns never tire, though. You've got vehicles shooting at you while you're trying to hack it to bits. Which could definitely be dangerous for something like this. Okay, we are getting close to finishing this bad boy. Yeah, I mean, your dice would have to be my level of rolling to fail to take something out with 3 multi-meltas. But I'm sure I could fail at that. Okay. All right. So yeah, it gives you. Yeah, that's. I am very proud of Games Workshop here. It is 2 completely different assemblies for the 2 different guns. Normally, classic GW would have this be. Basically, there wouldn't be a way to build this in 2 different ways. You would have, at least one of these components would have to be shared between these, so you couldn't make separate ones. So if you wanted to have your ATV do one thing or the other, you would have to buy at least 2 of them. But no, here you could just swap this out. I will have to see though how these arms are going to work though with magnetizing. Do I magnetize the hands? Will these things just fit in without lining up directly with the hands? Let's find out. interesting. Oh, Zardoz, you're gonna get rid of the knights? Because you don't think you are interested in ever playing them again, or just to make some money? Either reason is, of course, totally valid. We need piece number 9 and 10. 9 and 10. Okay, cool. Whoa! Nope. Okay, got it. That thing just shot right by my face. Man, knights are pretty high on my list of like one day. One day, maybe. I love the idea of knights just because their lore is so much fun. You can really build out their stories and their characters. And the models are obviously substantial and really interesting. But thus far I have not dabbled. But I've thought about it. And honestly, I don't know if I suddenly had a bunch of spare money and time and wanted to, do a major project. I don't know if I would do. Yeah, I don't know if I would start with Loyalist or Chaos, because again, I play both versions of Marines, so I could add Knights to either or both of them. I don't know. Thankfully, I have plenty to do right now, and I am not embarking on any major projects like that in the near future, seemingly. All right, let's make an onslaught Gatling cannon, shall we? Okay. Rubber band this. And again, I have some models around that I feel like I could convert to knights if I was really interested, rather than having to buy a bunch of new big things. Why is this not going together fully? Squeeze. Oh, there we go. That's better. I was gonna say there shouldn't be a gap right there. And I just had it. I gotta turn it sideways. Oh wow, Zards, you have 5 or 6, and 6 little ones. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, it sounds like you went all in. I'm gonna let that dry before I finish that part. Let's build the multi-melta, and we are just about done. Yeah, night. I'll dabble in nights one day. That'd be a cool project to do with, like, with other people, or with a, I guess, part of a stream or a community. This is done. Cool. And then we just have this guy's arms on the other side. You know, like with a community, design a night house, the characters, the individual knights, what their stories are, do all the, you know, the heraldry, the pennants and everything. That'd be cool. That would be quite the project, but so let's see. Tomorrow I'll be back for Thematic Thursday. I'll be back. Ooh, I just watched Terminator Dark Fate. That wasn't that great. And then watching Terminator Dark Fate, I realized that I had never finished Terminator Genesis. So I went back and restarted that. Also not great. But I will finish it so that I can say I've watched them all. Okay, so close to being done here. All right. Let's get this multi-melted done. Yeah, those Terminator movies, they frequently, it's like, yeah, just give us what we want. And this is not it. Too many humans. Like kaiju movies. Why is this not fitting together properly? What did I miss here? Did I miss a peg? It's frustrating. It's not going to be visible. It's on the bottom, but still, it's like I don't know why that didn't fit. That didn't seat together quite right. Something to work on when I get the next one. All right, I've got a cool Melta power pack that fits into the side. In theory. Does it matter which side is up? Can't imagine. No. 1, 2, 3. Oh man. Oh no. Shoot. Alright, so the shield goes on nice and easy. That's good. Okay. Alright, so we have one weapon done. Multi-melta is done. Good. Oh yeah, when that kid is upset, man, he will let you know. You'll hear it. Let's finish the Gatling cannon. And this is the same gun that you can mount on the Redemptor Dreadnought. So this box of ammunition goes this way? In theory. Which way does this go? Nope, I have it upside down. Much better. Don't need glue. It sits in there really tightly. Alright, shield on the front. Good. All right. Okay, so there's a little hole here. And yeah, it just, bottom of the gun just pops right in. Very sturdy. Easy to come out. Next one. Boom. So then it becomes a matter of how do these arms work? Plug in here. Okay, so there's a peg. The hand holds a little handle that has a peg that goes into the side of the gun. So then the question becomes, if I shave off that peg, will it be close enough to the gun to look convincing? We can test it. I think it will be. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. You wouldn't do that? Why wouldn't you do that? Because otherwise I can't easily pull it on and off. Because the peg, again, the peg on the peg that's attached to the hand goes inside the sides of the gun. So you can't, and I wouldn't want to have to bend it to pop it in, because that would pop the arms. Again, I think if I just trim off the peg, then it should just line up with that hole. Yeah, it won't attach to it, but at least it would be close. Oh, I see what you're saying. Don't even glue the arms. Oh, got it. So just basically put the gun on, then attach the arms, don't glue it. I see. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, cool. No, I think that's, yeah, I think that's great. So boom, we have a completed Space Marine Primaris ATV. Here you see it in multi-melta mode, blasting massive amounts of superheated energy right above this dude's head, or with the other gun unleashing a hail of bullets right over his head. Yeah. I like that meme that called this guy, was it Corporal Tinnitus? not necessarily where you want to be. He definitely got the he pulled the short straw in this configuration. But yeah, I like it. It's definitely compact. Here we can compare it to an Outrider. The old, well, let's do it this way. And the old one. And I think